Hookup expert is a rather arguable trophy to fight for, but why so many women line up to get one? My name is Dana Toguzova and I'm here to debunk the myth of hookup culture and return women's dignity. To start with, let's talk why women get into hookups. Number 1. A lack of the right relationship in her own family, where she could see her mom being loved and being well treated by her dad. Usually such girls have examples of where their moms were mistreated, they were abused, and they were felt absolutely unhappy. Number 2. Shaming and prohibition of any kind of relationships. Growing up, some girls are strongly recommended not to even think of guys, but focus only on their studies, which is actually against their natural desire. And the more they cover their sexual interests, the more they go wild whenever they get freedom, which ends up in numerous sexual partners and one-night stands. Number 3. Extremely religious education. Extremely religious knowledge penetrates in woman's mind that sex is dirty, that her body is filthy, and that she should be ashamed of any sexual desire, so that she starts to suppress them, and the result of it is that some women end up being virgins for over decades, while others try sex once or twice, experiencing absolutely contradicting feelings of shame and desire. And usually, after a few partners, they have a long pause in their sexual life because a self-punishing scenario eats them up and they cannot build healthy relationships because they think that they have committed an unforgiving sin. Number 4. Hookup culture is being populated in almost every TV show and every movie we can see nowadays. It is showing that girls strive for one-night stands and then they're happily ever after. And since many women do not have the right motto, they tend to believe that jumping from one partner to another partner through a series of one-night stands, they will eventually find their Mr. Right, which is absolutely not true. Because such motto actually sets a very cheap price on a woman's body and her soul, and every woman after such one-night stands actually feels empty. Number 5. Following the crowd. When a girl enters a college, most of the time she feels alone, she has no friends, and she has that biological urge to stay in the crowd. So whenever she finds a crowd and she picks people, most of the time we tend to find some people that we like, they have friends, they're so funny, they're outgoing, every guy is hanging around those girls. And they see that those girls tend to follow this one-night stand, hookup culture, so that they understand that one-night stand is the right path to follow. And that is why, in order not to feel out of the crowd as a black sheep, she thinks, okay, in order to get that guy, I need to follow this one-night stand technique and I will get him. So what happens after that? Well, to be honest, there is no even one woman in the whole world who really goes into hookup without teeny tiny hope that it will turn into something serious, no matter what she tells in front of women and in front of men. The saddest thing is that one-night stands are being normalized in society both by men and by women. A young woman, after a one-night stand, starts to compare herself with those cool and excited girls who are so into one-night stand relationships and who seem to be happy, and comes to a conclusion that she is flawed, that she did not enjoy it that much. Because no one actually talks about it openly. No one shares how they really feel about it. No one confesses. A hookup strategy goes on and a woman never gets real feelings because that physical connection with a person she is not into, with her soul and emotions, does not nurture her at all. She does not know her body, and since she is jumping from one partner to another one, she cannot even understand herself and what she really likes, and she cannot get the real experience in sex. And the more sex she has, the more inexperienced she feels. Plus, men actually tell her about that as well, right in front of her face. So she feels guilt and shame, and at the end of the day, she actually decides to stop any sexual relationships, or even getting pregnant from a guy who she does not even know well and who most of the time will not agree to commit and have a baby with her. So that is what is happening on the inside most of the time. Now, what happens on the outside? The outside, the girl's reputation is ruined. Even if she had 1 or 2 sexual partners, there will always be men who would like to add her on their win list, even though they do not even know each other. So it becomes an unbearable burden that she carries on her back for years and even decades. Hopefully she finds a professional help who will be able to heal her wounds and let her forgive herself and move on. If something like this happened to you, I know that you might be blaming yourself right now, calling yourself ugly names, living in the dreams that, wow, it would be so cool to change it. And you just want to forget the man who you had sex with, who you let touch your body. And you're angry and you feel so lonely. And the thing is that I want you to realize you're not the only one. You're not the only one who is feeling the same feelings. And that is why I actually want to invite you to the private Facebook group where we can chat, where you can explain all your feelings, whatever you feel over there. It is not the emergency line, I want you to understand that. It is for those who have already overcome that extremely painful point and that are ready to change it, to heal the wounds and actually move on. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video somehow eased feelings that you might be experiencing, or maybe it has prevented you from mistakes that you could have made. Thanks again. See you. Bye.